phone. Stop pretending I don't know you're home. I guess not. Do you ever respond?
Hi everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Trisha Miller. I upload videos every Wednesday and Friday. If you watched our last couple of Friday videos, you know that we went to Disney World. It was amazing. We met all the characters, we rode all the rides, we ate all the things. It was an incredible trip. So if you want to follow along with us on that trip, I will be posting part 1 this Friday, and then I think I do have to break it up into like a part 1 and part 2 because we were there for a while. So probably part 1 this Friday, maybe a break, and then a part 2 3 weeks later. We'll see. I might do them back to back. Let me know in the comments. Do you want them back to back, or do you want me to kind of spread out the Disney magic? But the vacation was wonderful, but I am definitely craving routine, structure, healthy foods. So I am very much looking forward to doing this week's meal prep with you guys. For this week, we're going to be doing, for our pre-breakfast, I'm going to do some protein balls. I've made them in the past. I'm going to do them a little bit differently this time. I'm actually going to do an experiment. I've never tried this before because I always have a hard part with how much peanut butter, I do almond butter, but how much almond butter needs to go into it. So I'm going to try to divide it in half. So I'll do probably 1/4 cup of my typical almond butter, and then I'm going to try the PB powder peanut butter. So it could be a disaster. Stick with me, we'll find out. Hoping it's going to work out. So we're going to do that for the pre-breakfast. And then for breakfast, we're going to be doing the banana egg pancakes. If you've never made these before, I've made them lots of times. They are delicious. You can't go into it thinking they're going to taste like actual pancakes. It's a different consistency. If you try them, you'll see what I mean, but they're really sweet. They satisfy that sweet tooth if you have a sweet tooth like me, and they fill you up, and they're just really good, and they're so easy to make. So we're gonna make that, and I think I'll probably do some turkey bacon on the side with that just to get some protein going, some extra protein. And then for lunch, I am going to, if you watched my Super Bowl Weight Watcher appetizer video that I did way back a couple months ago at the Super Bowl, I made a buffalo chicken dip. So I'm going to be making that same dip, but for lunch. So I'm thinking I'll probably do the dip with some carrot sticks, some celery sticks, and then probably some baked Tostitos, and just kind of have that as the lunch, and then maybe do a veggie on the side. We'll see. There's a lot of veggies with the carrots and the celery sticks, so I might just do that. And then that's it. That's our meal prep for the week, so let's get started. Thanks for being here. All right, we are going to start with our protein balls. I will link the recipe below. I don't really have a recipe to link. I'll just type out and provide the recipe below for you guys. Again, this is an experiment, so it may go terribly wrong, and then we'll just remake them together with the tried and true recipe, but we're gonna try it. Okay, so I've showed this before, but this is my absolute favorite brand. Let's see if I can get it to not be blurry. Of almond butter. It's from American Dream, and this flavor is called Bundle Up Blondie. If you have not purchased, and this is not sponsored, if you have not purchased any of their nut butters, oh my gosh, these are the greatest thing ever. I feel like I'm wasting it by putting it in a protein ball, because usually I use it for like dip and stuff because it is so good, but it really gives such a good flavor, so it's worth it to put it in here. You do have to order off the website, so that's the only thing. You're not gonna be able to find this in your grocery store, or I don't even think it's on Amazon, but it's worth it. Okay, so we're gonna do half of this. So we're gonna do 1/4 cup for this one, and then I'm going to experiment and try. I'm gonna do the PB2. This is, I think, the one with the cocoa in it. And so we'll do 1/4 cup of this. And this, I'm hoping it's gonna help because it gets very runny. And when you're making these, you need something that has a little bit of that moisture in it to be able to put everything and bind it together. So I'm hoping this is actually gonna work in our favor. We will see. I'm gonna add a scoop of my protein powder that I like. This is just the About Time brand chocolate. And then we need to use some honey. And then of course we need to use some oats. At the very end, I'm going to add a couple of these Lily's white chocolate style baking chips to each of the tops. All right, I'm gonna put it in my food processor. I'm not gonna use my hands this time because we are experimenting, so I need to know that it's gonna get mixed up really well. So we'll put everything in the food processor, blend it up. Then when I form the balls, I'm gonna actually put them on some parchment paper on a lined sheet, and I'm gonna put it in the freezer after that, probably for like at least 30 minutes to make them a little bit harder before I try to take them out and store them in some Tupperware. Always make sure you're storing your protein balls in your refrigerator. They should be good for at least a week, if not 2 weeks in your refrigerator. All right, let's get going.
Explain it all again, again, again. Tell me why you don't wanna be friends. I guess not. Baby, no, I don't wanna go. You know how much I hate sleeping alone. I can never make it on my own. Tell me what I'm gonna do. Tell me how I'm gonna live my life without you. Yeah, tell me why we don't make sense. Tell me how I'm gonna get through. I don't wanna take another life without you. Yeah, tell me why we don't make sense. Do I ever let go? Let go of the days I wish we had. Stop crying over things I can't take back. Not yet. Do I ever forget? Erase your pretty face inside my head. Wishing you the best of life instead. Well, not yet. Baby, no, I don't wanna go. You know how much I hate sleeping alone. I can never make it on my own. Tell me what I'm gonna do. Tell me how I'm gonna live my life without you. Yeah, tell me why we don't make sense. Tell me how I'm gonna get through. I don't wanna take another life without you. Yeah, tell me why we don't make sense. You.
So did you catch which ingredient I forgot to originally add? It was the protein powder. Very important. So I just went back and added it back in. Not a big deal. But I wanted you to see that I did, in fact, add that protein powder in. Also, I'm recording this voiceover the next day, and so I have tried one of the protein balls, and they turned out perfect using the powder peanut butter. I might even try, next time I make them, just doing all PB2 for the peanut butter that I add in. So we'll just keep on experimenting together, guys. This one was a success.
I keep wishing we'll end up together, you. Oh, you. I keep wishing. Tell me what I'm gonna do. Tell me how I'm gonna live my life without you. Yeah, tell me why we don't make sense. Tell me what I'm gonna do. Tell me how I'm gonna live my life without you. Yeah, tell me why we don't make sense. Tell me how I'm gonna get through. I don't wanna take another life without you. Yeah, tell me why we don't make sense. Oh, no.
All right, we're moving on now to the breakfast. I normally do it in my NutriBullet, but I just realized since I'm doing a big batch for 4 days, it's not gonna I can't fit 4 bananas inside my NutriBullet with all the eggs, so I'm gonna use my food processor again. So the ratio here is, for every serving, 1 full banana and 2 eggs. My bananas are very green. I couldn't find any extra ripe ones at the grocery store, so we'll see what happens. It should blend up just fine because I'm putting it in here. You don't have to use a food processor. You can just mash up the banana with a fork, scramble the eggs inside of it, and you're good to go. So all of the tools that I'm using are not necessary, they're just more convenient. So if you're interested in anything that I'm using, again, nothing is sponsored, but I did do a video last week of my top 10 meal prep tools, items that I use. You'll see them frequently, so I thought I'd put them all in a video for you guys. I also try to link everything in the description. I just forget sometimes, so just put a comment below if you want to know about something that I'm using. All right, let's make our pancakes.
On a run from my given disaster, speed away from the holy mind, pride. That's where I never thought it would matter. If I'm gone by now, all my weakness keep on linger on repeat like it will be my favorite song. Oh, I know I should be moving on, but you got me good, I keep on trying to my hot California. I forgot how you look like in rain. I swear I never thought it would matter if I'm gone by now. All my weakness keep on linger on repeat like it will be my favorite song.
All right, a little bit of advice with these pancakes. Make them small at first until you get really comfortable with how they cook and when you need to flip them. Err on the side of letting them cook longer before you flip them. They're not like regular pancakes. You're not going to see bubbles form, so you know when it's time to flip them. Just kind of use your spatula, feel around. When you feel like they're ready and they're going to flip without breaking, that is the moment to do that.
All right, we are moving on to our last part, which is our lunch, and we're gonna make the buffalo chicken dip. I will link the recipe below, but just a heads up, I make a lot of changes to it. So one thing that I change, instead of doing all the different seasonings in there, I just do some ranch seasoning. I'll probably do about 2 tablespoons worth. And then I use this instead of the Frank's hot sauce. Let's see if I can get it to, there we go. So it's the Primal Kitchen buffalo sauce. I do a 1/4 cup of this. You will see that we are going to use some cottage cheese. Don't be scared. If you are somebody who hates cottage cheese, you do not taste it. I put everything into the NutriBullet. It gets completely demolished in there. You will not even know that there is cottage cheese in here. Also, I use the fat-free plain Greek yogurt. If you're somebody who doesn't like the taste of Greek yogurt, again, you are not going to taste it. It's delicious, trust me. All right, other thing. I already cooked my chicken. I used my crock pot. I did it early this morning. I threw it in there on high for 2 hours with just a little bit of chicken broth. I did two chicken breasts. You could do like a bulk batch and make even more. If you were going to actually do this as an appetizer, I would make more because it goes really quickly. It's really good. So I just put it in my crock pot. I did 2 hours on high, and then I brought it down to low for the 3rd hour. Then I just shredded it up. Super easy. All right, we're gonna put the chicken to the side right now. We're gonna get everything for the base of the sauce inside the NutriBullet. We're going to blend that up, mix it all together, and then we are ready to put everything together.
You got me good. I keep on driving till it bends. Still it feels like I pretend. Keep on driving and driving along the road tonight. Lost my head over my back between the jars and bottle jack. Just me and all the red lights. Keep on driving and driving.
Okay, I have a confession to make. I get very nervous whenever I push down the blender in the NutriBullet. I had an experience a couple years ago where I overfilled it and stuff went everywhere. So now I feel like I'm always second guessing, did I put the right amount in? That's why I always make that face. I make it a lot when you see me using my NutriBullet. I usually let the kids press it down because they love it. But definitely pay attention to where the max fill line is if you have one of these or if you buy one of these. Also, yep, I'm dancing while I shake it. I just like to have fun when I meal prep. If you're somebody who is kind of not in the meal prep game yet, but you're thinking about it, maybe that's why you're watching this video, have fun while you're doing it. Put a show on in the background, put some music on your Alexa, listen to a podcast, whatever it takes, so that you can make this an enjoyable process. Because if you're having fun while you're doing it, you're going to... Oops, my recording cut off. Sorry, guys. So as I was saying, if you can find some enjoyment, something to have fun while you're meal prepping, I really think you're going to be more likely to stick with it and keep going with it. So find whatever brings you joy, bring it into the meal prepping world.
Even if you tried, you wouldn't understand it. Maybe something's missing inside of you. Just a bit of sugar to that horrid bitter. Maybe you taste different. Hold sit beside you while you're going on about your simple life. Nothing left you thinking that maybe you're not different. Go on, blow up your ego, your undying ego. Oh, look here he goes, stepping on toes with his humble lacking everlasting ego. I guess it never hit you. Our conversation takes two, paying it some interest from time to time. Inside all that greatness and all of your adventures, you're all alone. Hold up, baby, I can sit beside you while you're going on about your simple life. Nothing left you thinking that maybe you're not different. Go on, blow up your ego, your undying ego. Oh, look here he goes.
Real quick, some options with your buffalo chicken dip. You can eat it cold and it is just as delicious. I like to microwave mine really quick right before, so I would just remove the vegetables, put it in the microwave for about a minute, and then I'm good to go. But you can eat it hot or you can eat it cold, whatever you want.
Stepping on toes with his humble lacking everlasting ego. Oh, here he goes, here he goes, here he goes. Oh, here he goes, oh, here he goes. Oh, here he goes, here he goes, here he goes. With his humble lacking everlasting ego. Someone.
Thank you so much for sharing your time with me this week. As always, I will link all of these recipes below in the description. If it's helpful to you, please consider subscribing to my channel. I'll see you next time.